will say he's done something that goes beyond the pale. He will shake his head and give this answer without fail. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled strokes, he says he tells no lies and that he never jokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. A modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronted with the truth, they say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, they'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the MAGA base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he'll keep on gaslighting up until he croaks. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax.
Trump piled debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, they'd scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Goes through crises, storms and war. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hired his kids to run DC. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say evade. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they child up today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason, if Joe's the name, is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden
it tonight, breaking down the chaos with human life. From Megan Worldwide to the nerd hailing stage, leading the charge in this live stream age. Welcome to the Sparklerverse tonight, where the smart talk lands and the jokes take flight. If the world's gone weird and absurdly terse, come laugh it out in the Sparklerverse. Live in the mornings with sexy liberal flair, Stephanie Miller crafting truth on the air. Punchlines flying like fireworks in June, intelligence cutting straight through the gloom. Dan Liberal Dan arrives with rhetorical might, bringing you talk from the left, that's right. Hypocrites and rednecks he will smite, but that after dark show is nowhere in sight. Welcome to the Sparklerverse, please subscribe, cause the trolls get toasted and truth survives. It's a worldwide bar for the curious mind. Pull up a chair, you'll fit just fine. Boston Brian spitting facts wicked high, they're calling out nonsense right in the eye. If they take gate logic, can't back the car. Then he dunks on bad takes like a Sox all-star. Fill up and they're bringing the world to view. Frontline updates straight from Ukraine to Rob Glenn, napping out of the digital sea, talking AI and what it might be. Farrah Dublin with the writer's eye so keen, certain breaking news into a biting scene. Trucker John rolling in through the night, and don't forget the mods who keep it all right. Different voices, but all refined. Different hours, most of the time. United and cutting through the news. All cheered on by the Sparkler crew. Welcome to the Sparklerverse tonight, where curiosity keeps the lights on bright. Smash that like and come to converse. We're broadcasting live from the Sparklerverse.
This just in. A sudden spike in logic levels across the city. Citizens report seeing a man with glasses and a podcast mic.
We go now.
Live to Liberal Dan.
Yo, who you gonna call when Nazi writings on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, cause you know we got a plan. The right wing talking shit, but he ain't about to quit. He'll take his proton pack and zap your logic cause it's whack. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall.
It's being reported that Liberal Dan is setting up what appears to be some sort of straw man containment field.
He's calling out your lies with his mic, he'll vaporize. Cross the streams in your dreams, bitch, you know that he's too wise. You're like Slimer talking crap, but you walked into his trap. Yo, it's more than entertainment, it's misinformation containment. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. The Statue Liberty, the writing you can't see. So bring the huddled masses, it's a war of the classes. While Trump may think he's Vigo, Dan can cut through that ego. He's got the facts to prove him wrong, got that logic like Egon. Your logic is a ghost, cause you know this chick is toast. When you follow MTG, it's conspiracy, you'll see. There's no need to taser, he's got wit like Occam's razor. Liberal Dan cuts those lies with his Jewish face laser.
It's unbelievable. Liberal Dan just used the literal dog whistle to lure a large group of internet trolls into what is being called a self-collapsing rhetoric singularity. In all my years of reporting, I've never seen anything like this.
So don't call to be a heckler, you ain't no Judge Rexler. He'll bust you like Scolary, cause your logic's looking hairy. Right-wing callers think they're cool, but they sounding just like Zool. You the dog, he the man, and yo, his name is Liberal Dan. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan.
Proclaimed king a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, the animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. A failing media that's barely treading water. They're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk comes the left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. Unmasking hypocrisy, the truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. 'Cause Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right.
And welcome to Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. To join the conversation, we may open up the phone lines in a little bit. When we do, I'll give you the phone number at that point. Otherwise, leave your comments, questions, and I'll try and get to some of them in the chats. Welcome to all the members of the Sparklerverse. Coming in from House Sparks Mega Worldwide, appreciate y'all. Glad, really appreciated Hal for playing the video and sharing it out there. Crazy Insane Alien, better copyright this intro. I do. I have the music is actually copyrighted because I bought the I paid for the was it Marika is the link, and that link to Marika is somewhere in the show description. And we basically since I created it with the paid plan, I have the full rights to the music, and so that takes away any question as to whether or not it's copyrightable or not or whatever. Shouts out to everybody both over on Twitch and again on YouTube for who rated from House Sparks Mega Worldwide earlier. Hey Orvilleby, good to see you. Cosmic Rose, 250 kilo ohm. Let's see, who else did I see? Can't Stop Lying, KJ Doglove. Thank you all for joining in and rating. If I missed you over there, apologize. And then shouts out to all the people, all 146 over there. Sorry, I can't say it all to each and every one of you, but appreciate you. If you do have any questions about that, Tim goes, no more AI stuff. The world is blowing up. Well, sometimes you need a little break from the blowing upness to have a little bit of whatever. But I did make a video also with AI about the world blowing up, right? With Donald Trump's he being a man of peace, but in reality he doesn't just want a peace, he wants the whole thing. So good to see you, Jen. Our choice at every game is late to the stream. Could you imagine if Joe Biden had been late to my stream?
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, the screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
It's A1 because it's steak sauce? I don't know. Anyway, so lots of interesting things to talk about today. Let's see, what else? Somebody's like, who's this guy with 1.5 thousand viewers or subscribers on his channel that Hal just rated? Well, it's just me. I'm trying to grow my show. I'm trying to get those numbers up, and I can only do that by y'all helping the algorithm out, because Algor needs more rhythm. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to comment on videos, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to do. It all helps the algorithm, as we say on Liberal Dan Radio. Al Gore needs more rhythm, and you can get the Al Gore Rhythm t-shirt on the Liberal Dan Radio store as well, on top of many other shirts that are there as well. Wait, a church certificate game. I was actually surprised to learn that people use A1 cold instead of heating it. I've never once heated A1. So I'm surprised to learn that people heat it. There you go. I don't use it as much because I cook my steaks properly for the most part. So normally I'm using A1 when I'm making a mistake or having some other cut of meat or whatever. So, but yeah, we got 136 viewers over on YouTube and only 44 likes. So again, please make sure to smash that like button. All the different ways to support the show as well. You could Venmo, Liberal Dan on Venmo. Just use friends and family because you're not buying anything. You can buy me a cider. Go to liberaldan.com, click the buy me a cider button, or just go to buymeacoffee.com/liberaldanradio. Either way gets you there. Patreon.com/liberaldan or patreon.liberaldan.com. I'm also on most social media platforms as Liberal Dan Radio. I may not be on TikTok for many too long. I know Hal has negative opinions on TikTok, and I understand that. One of the clipping tools that I use is also fueled by AI, so to speak. And that one manages to take all my 2-3 hour episodes and chops them up into, digestible small little clips and then ships them out everywhere, puts them on Instagram, puts them on YouTube, puts them on Facebook, puts them on TikTok. And one of my videos that was talking about the study that was done that had Gen Z folks saying that women should obey or whatever. That was me reporting on that and not saying that I agree with it, and even putting quotes in, obey or whatever. Even doing that was enough to say that it was hate speech. I have a feeling that either their AI screwed up or somebody just felt like reporting me because they were being a bunch of dickheads. And then another one was posted as false information. Didn't say what the false information was, and when I went and looked at the video on YouTube, there was nothing false about that information. So either, again, somebody was trying to, people were trying to mass report videos because they just don't like what I have to say, or their algorithm and whatever is screwed up. So it may very well be that I might not be on TikTok any longer because once I get 3 strikes, I'm done, apparently. So, the literary groupie. Okay, I mean, I think most people start off their shows like that, but whatever, as old Trumpy boy says. It is what it is. Thank you. Cosmic Rose, ignore the rude YouTube comments. Hey, look, every single rude YouTube comment helps out the algorithm as well. So thank you for any mentionings of any conversation, any whatever that takes place in the chat. Helps the show out, helps drive more traffic to the channel. So appreciate everyone for doing that, even if you say things that I don't necessarily agree with. Brenda Triplett, MAGAs hate smart people. That's true, and I've had, but it hasn't just been MAGA folks who report. There are some people who don't like some of my views on the left who also have done that, even though I'm pretty darn well leftist at this point. It's just I don't necessarily agree with how some people take things over the top or whatever. But anyway, let's get cracking to the topic of the show, the topics that we are going to discuss today. And one of them has to be, I don't know, again, we are, why is this wanting to do, okay, there we go. This profile right here, Jessica Foster. Why are we looking at this Jessica Foster profile? Why are we looking at this? And let's move this over a little bit more. And with clearly somebody who has like an OnlyFans account or whatever. And here's a picture of this person with Donald Trump several times standing in front of an audience, her showing off her feet, lots of her showing off her feet, with I show speed in military garb or whatever. So whole bunch of stuff on this Instagram. We're not going to go to the OnlyFans account. We're not going to go see that. But there is lots of these images, and every single one of these images has been created by AI because this person, Jessica Foster, is not a person. It's AI. Trump supporters getting scammed by AI-generated foot fetish model. Although on the site goes, by the way, I respond to every message, but please be patient since I'm not a robot. Ha ha. Instagram page only a few months old. Jessica Foster is thriving. A model has over 1 million followers on social media platform and a blossoming OnlyFans presence, boasting 13,000 likes across 25 posts. A purported U.S. military service member, Foster is young, blonde, and gorgeous. She appeared in images with influencer Darren Ishow Speed, Jason Watkins Jr., Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and even Donald and Melania Trump. And then there's, of course, the risque foot pics that have been posted. There's just one wrinkle. She's 100% AI, a fact seemingly lost on a vast proportion of her followers. The account's bizarre rise was first chronicled by the company called Fast Company. It began in December of 2025 through a barrage of timely spam. She claimed to attend the Super Bowl shortly after invading Greenland. The puppet master running the Instagram page has amassed a major following of dupes and patriots eager to see their politics embodied in a sexy young woman. Jessica, lots of people commenting on her feet. There's also social media context. Anyone scrolling through entire Instagram account should be able to clock it as AI slop. One-off post appearing amongst the typical user feed would be much harder to sniff out. The prison seems to serve as a funnel to her OnlyFans account where anyone can sign up to see the model shed her BDUs. Public servant by day, troublemaker by night. Her OnlyFans bio suggests, I'm new to this, don't be rude. By the way, I respond to every message, I'm not a robot. That said, the OnlyFans account only requires a free registration as opposed to a subscription fee, so it's tough to see what financial purpose the account serves. I don't know, maybe people can do super chats, super stickers, or I don't know, some tips or whatever that could possibly be done on OnlyFans, maybe. The most dangerous thing about Jessica Foster isn't that she's fake, it's how badly 1 million people needed her to be real, as according to right-wing commentator Ara Rubin. So... 250 kilos says, I bet there's a fake AI of Trump sucking a Cheeto dust off of her big toe. I could only imagine that. Let's see. Church City game. So I don't use OF. Allegedly, some women claim to respond to messages from their paid subscribers, but have someone from their management company do it, which sounds like fraud. I guess now they can just use AI for that purpose. Also seems fraudulent. If that leads to people not using OF anymore, I won't much care. I mean, you gotta figure that, right? I mean, you know, if you call AT&T, you're not talking to the president of AT&T, you're talking to the people under them. Of course, you're not expecting to see the person who's in charge of AT&T and their skivvies or whatever, right? But I don't know how many people have brought up this point to this article, because my point is not to just say just how gullible MAGA are, because we will talk about just how gullible MAGA are. I mean, they believe Donald Trump when he says anything whatsoever. So the idea that they would be gullible enough to believe that this AI creation was a real individual who was actually and legitimately communicating with them, you know, I'm not surprised by that. But the irony here is when it comes to trans folk, these are the same people, the men that are subscribing to her OnlyFans, that are probably sending her tips or whatever, that are you know, sending money, whatever, wasting their time on her, lusting over her, thinking about her, yada yada yada. These are the same people who will tell you that they can tell if somebody is a trans woman or not. They can tell because they don't view trans women as real women. We do here at Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left. That's right. Trans women are women. You know, we support trans rights here, LGBTQA rights here, and we are supportive of our trans brothers and sisters. But according to the MAGA folks and according to the right-wingers, they would call them fake women or whatever, or just misgender them altogether as they're talking about said trans folk. And they'll tell you, I can always tell I can always tell. Well, they couldn't tell this one was not a real human being. How are they going to tell the difference between somebody who is a cisgender woman or a transgender woman? Their brains don't work properly enough to tell a fraudster from the truth. Their brains don't work well enough to see every single time that Donald Trump has lied to them. You think they're going to figure this shit out? Absolutely not whatsoever. Yes, exactly. Atrocious trans rights are human rights. But yeah, there is absolutely no way that anybody should believe that they can tell. So, anyway. I had to talk about that one as soon as I saw it, because I just had to sit there and laugh at the idiot MAGA folks who insist on, being horrible to real people. Meanwhile, they're sitting there in their parents' basement with, lotion doing things. Let's just put it that way. It's not late enough for me to say everything that I would say, like I said in my rant on the show like a few weeks ago. So, yeah, because I went off on that one. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about here? Oh, yeah, that's right. Today is March 16th, 3/16. And Hal Sparks talked about how when he was talking about the religious folks and the woman who tried, they want to kick off of Donald Trump's religious thing. Again, if you're a MAGA person and you believe that Donald Trump is in any way religious, or should be anywhere near anything religious, that if you think he's a holy man or whatever, again, you're gullible, because he's the furthest thing from it. I think every of the 7 deadly sins he probably, partakes in, every single one of them. And, any other sins that exist in, the Old Testament or the New Testament, whatever you want to, whatever version of the Bible you believe in, he probably breaks many of those as well. But the idea that he's somehow some sort of holy individual who, is going to bring it back and bring Christianity. He doesn't give a shit about Christianity. He doesn't give a shit about anything unless it's going to cause him to gain more money. So, but anyway, back. So the Hal was talking about it is that this is March 16th. It's John 3:16 day. And so my response in Hal's chat, which no one responded to, but the chat goes by quickly, was simply, Stone Cold Steve Austin did not defeat Jake the Snake Roberts and to become King of the Ring for this to be called John 3:16 day. This is Austin 3:16 day, and he just whooped your ass. Anyway, so give me a hell yeah. Guilty pleasure of watching wrestling. So, wait, you haven't had hummus? You haven't had hummus? That's crazy. Hummus is delicious. So, anyway, so I had to make that the title of the show. If you support Liberal Dan Radio, give me a hell yeah. I should have just tossed back a beer or two whilst doing that as well, right? So. Brenda Triplett, his church is House of the Holy Unethical. Thank you, Christine. But yeah, he went out he threatened to go shoot protesters. Donald Trump threatened to go shoot protesters in the leg so that he could have a photo op in front of a church with a book he was holding upside down. But yet he's a holy man. He's righteous. He was sent here by God to do whatever. And it's just amazing. Again, Hal is right. There's not enough popcorn in the world to watch all of this, all of the MAGA folks just going against each other, be it the people of faith, who basically monetize faith for their own benefit, or anybody else with them, the Tucker Carlsons and the Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro and everybody who's just knocking heads with each other. Steven Crowder, the Louder with Crowder, or whatever, that ridiculous piece of shit, abusive piece of shit. All of these people fighting each other are just giving me life to watch them have things fall apart on them. That unfortunately it couldn't fall apart more quickly. So, but yeah, was another thing I want to talk about today. Thank you for the bits, Alyosha. Appreciate you. Good to see you, Joey. Thank you. Good to see you as well. Appreciate you. Trump is 0% the Antichrist. Actually, from what I heard, I'm Jewish, so I don't really know. as you saw with the Jewish space laser thing. I'm Jewish, so I'm not 100% sure as to what the Antichrist is really supposed to be. From a lot of people that I've heard, the Antichrist is supposed to be universally loved and supported, and that's what makes the Antichrist so dangerous. Donald Trump is the furthest thing from being universally loved. But then again, I don't base my worldview and my life and my whatever on religious beliefs. I base, off of the golden rule, do unto others as what you might have done unto you. Which brings me to my next topic. And my next topic is transactional activism. I'm in several Facebook groups or whatever where people talk about how, well, if like, showing like why, toxic men, like the whole thing about, the 1/3 of Gen Zers or whatever, but how like toxic men will like, do X, Y, and Z, and you point and laugh or whatever, or you expose the toxic men for being toxic. Because one of the reasons I do the Unraveling Toxic Masculinity playlist, because I see all these toxic guys out there saying and doing horrible stuff, and I think it's important we need more people out there combating their toxicity and explaining to the people who they might affect, who they might have an impact on, as to why their arguments that they're making are wrong. And a lot of times you'll see some of these guys saying, well, if I don't do X, if I support, this feminist idea, this feminist issue, then they should support me too. And that's not just guys who do it. I mean, it's not just restricted to gender. There's a lot of different examples. For example, I'm Jewish. I've seen other people who are Jewish themselves who have made arguments about, if they won't support my right to walk around, like if they're not going to understand why some of these things that are being said at the anti-Israel protests are not just anti-Israel but anti-Semitic, why then would I stand up and fight for the rights of Palestinian people who are being bombed to hell? Like, well, they're not saying bombed to hell, but anyway. Again, that's an example of transactional activism. If the only reason you would support somebody who is a Palestinian suffering under both Hamas and the state of Israel, you're not somebody who can be trusted on anything. That's my point, is that if you're a transactional activist, you can't be trusted, because what you're telling me is you're not supporting the issues that you're claiming to support because of it's the right thing to do. You're telling me that you're only doing it because you think you can get something out of it, and as such, you don't really support the cause to begin with, and therefore you can't be seen as trustworthy. It's exactly why Donald Trump shouldn't have been getting the Nobel Peace Prize, because Donald Trump specifically said after it wasn't given to him that now that he hasn't been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, it makes him want to be less peaceful. Well, if you only want to be peaceful because it gives you an award, guess what? You're not a peaceful human being. You're not a peaceful person. You're not somebody who could be trusted to maintain and keep the peace. And as we've just heard on the show, on my other song that I created, or one of my other songs I created, Donald Trump isn't a man of peace. He's a man who wants a piece of everything and pretty much wants the whole thing at the end of the day. So, but yeah, so again, the golden rule, going back to the golden rule, is treat others as you would want them to treat you. Biblically, it's do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Many different versions or ways to say the golden rule. It's not treat others well so people will treat you well. That's not how the golden rule works. You need to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because there's a potential reward from it. One of my favorite stories that I will share on Facebook every single time it comes up in my memories, and every single time it comes up, I see it just cross my path. I will always share this post, and it's basically a story from Judaism, where a rabbinical student, somebody who's going to the rabbinical academy to go learn how to be a rabbi, to learn more about their faith and learn how to, teach the Jewish faith to other Jews, because we're not evangelicals like that. We only want to, we don't want to convert people. But one of the students asks the rabbi, Rabbi, why is it that God created atheists? And the response that the rabbi gives, God created atheists to give us an important life lesson. When an atheist sees some sort of harm being done in the world, they don't try and fix the harm because of some otherworldly or whatever benefit that they might get out of it. They don't believe in that. They do a good thing because it's the right thing to be done in the world to come, as Jewish people would say, or in the afterlife, as some other people might say, or in heaven, as others might say. The atheist doesn't do things for that purpose. The atheist does things because it's the right thing to do. So when you see somebody in trouble, when you see somebody in need, when you see somebody who has a problem that needs to be dealt with, don't ask God how you should help the person. Be like the atheist and go help the person yourself. And it's a beautiful way of thinking, but it also drives that point home where your goal for doing anything shouldn't be because of the reward, or at least doing the right thing, shouldn't be the reward you get out of it. It should be because you're doing the right thing. Hell, you can look at Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. Spoiler alert. And you can look at Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory and you could see that at the end of the movie, that even though he wasn't going to get the promise that it looked as if Charlie was going to lose the big prize, get all of the chocolate he could possibly want for the rest of his life, and he was just going to go and bring Slugworth the everlasting gobstopper so that he could get profit, and that's what his grandpa wanted to do. But the test was that Charlie would do the right thing and not give, the gobstopper away to Willy Wonka's perceived rival, that he would just, the test was that would he just return the gobstopper by himself and do the right thing with no promise of anything of a reward. In fact, it looked like he had lost the reward because of what he did with the bubble drink or whatever. And then he did get something out of it at the end of the day. But Willy Wonka wanted to test to see if he would do the right thing just because it was the right thing to do. So look, you can get good moral stories from anywhere. They just, sometimes you don't even have to look hard enough to do it. But like somebody was like, and I never actually heard the term transactional activism before. I don't know where I put this. Where I put the link or whatever, but there's actually, there are people who have talked about this, the idea, transactional activism, collaborative cross-border acting, addressing shared issues, whatever. But the problem is that, according to this website, at its core, transactional activism can be understood as coordinated efforts by individuals and groups across national borders to address shared global concerns, blah, 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 blah. But the problem, to me, again, with this transactional activism, again, is because you can have these groups working together, but unfortunately, it can cause people to, again, you might miss, some of those important aspects of the activism for the activism in and of itself, right? Easy for me to say, right? Stumbling over my words a little bit. But again, the point is that it's not a new phrase. It's not something that I coined directly, but I think I am using it in a different way that other people have coined it. But which basically is just, if you're going to do something for the benefit of yourself and not to benefit others, then you're not actually caring about the benefit of others. You're only caring for yourself. Simple as that, right? So, we're back on the Joel thing again. Welcome to the fish in the chat. Welcome to all the fishy fishies. Man, I'm missing a whole bunch of good food stories over there over on Twitch. Oh, there is that one right there. It's that I just opened that one as well. But again, this one thing from this one article that it says it involves transactional exchanges such as benefits, jobs, or policy concessions that can silence broader advocacy efforts, leading to co-optation. So apparently some other people also have the same view as I do about transactional activism and why it can actually work to harm people because, again, you're not doing the thing because it's the right thing to do. Now, of course, there's always going to be like horse trading, whatever that goes on when you're like talking about policy issues as it pertains to government. You can't kind of avoid it when you're in government, because when you're in government, you kind of have to do those compromise things. It would be great if we could eliminate all the transactional folks from Congress and from the presidency. You know, it would be great if we could get rid of that, and then instead elect people who would vote for things and do things simply because doing those things are the right things to do. Is this a good idea? Yes. Let's put it forward. Is this a good idea? Yes. Let's put it forward. Would protecting these people be a good idea? Yes. Let's protect these people. Unfortunately, we have people who believe that the people that need to be protected are the people who are privileged, the people of privilege, so to speak, people who don't need the protection whatsoever, and people who actually want to harm other people. And let's New Orleans has a lot of parades. New Orleans has a lot of parades, right? You know, we don't just have Mardi Gras parades. We have a parade. We have the Crew de Boo that takes place in Halloween. We have the we have the Irish Channel Parade, where we have the Irish Italian Parade, we have St. Paddy's Day Parade, we have a whole bunch of parades that are out there that celebrate a whole bunch of different stuff. And one of the news stations was airing this video and showed these people and blanked out the faces because they weren't sure how old or young these people were. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. You call out Nazi bullshit when you see Nazi bullshit. Here is a parade. Here are some young assholes on top of a parade float, float 28 specifically in this Mardi Gras parade. And they are sitting there giving a Nazi salute. The people who took this video before, and there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. And then the people beforehand, before they started recording these assholes, just throwing, toys and rubber chickens or whatever, before seeing them, they heard them saying the HH word. They heard them praising Adolf Hitler. These now, according to the people who run the parade itself, those individuals have been banned from the parade. And good for them. Good. I'm very happy that they've been banned, that they banned them from the parade. They have no business doing that on a parade float or anywhere else for that matter. I'm glad I didn't go to that parade. If I would have went to that parade and saw that, you might not have seen me on Liberal Dan Radio tonight at 8 p.m. Central here on liberaldanradio.com, because guess what? You might have heard that Liberal Dan was locked up for throwing something back at the float and pelting somebody in the frickin' head. Because I don't know if I would have been able to have just looked and let it go by without any of that happening. Now, maybe I probably just would have went over to the police officer and said, hey, there are people doing Nazi salutes. But you had Jennifer Van Franken, who is an at-large member of the Jefferson Parish City Council, who saw the video and didn't want to say that it was a Nazi salute or not. Because these people hate to actually call out Nazis on their Nazi bullshit. Like every single time I call into Jeff Carrer's Ringside Politics program on 990 AM here in New Orleans, and also available online or whatever if you want to listen to the bullshit too. Of course, I usually listen to it and clip the crap so that y'all don't have to listen to the whole shows. I don't even listen to the whole show. That being said, every time I mention how Donald Trump has done something that resembles Nazi behavior, he gets so angry because there's nothing that conservatives hate most than the idea that they may very well have, voted for somebody who supports Nazism. Either that or they don't like admitting their Nazism. But one of the things that electing Donald Trump has done is it's empowered those white supremacists. It's empowered these terrible people to be open and loud with their racism, their anti-Semitism, and otherwise bigotry, their bigoted feelings that they have towards people who are not straight, white, cisgender males. Or cisgender people, I guess I should say, even though they're probably also sexist as well, so they don't give a shit about women either. So yeah. That this is what we have to deal with. Hell, if you haven't watched Liberal Dan Radio Talk from Left That's Right, you might have missed the whole thing about Donald Trump's executive order on supposedly to combat anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism, you know, the executive order, there was 5 executive orders signed that day. It could have been any one of those 5, or he could have done it the day before or days after if he wanted to make sure to miss an unfortunate numbering, or what I feel is a purposeful numbering. And the executive order supposedly combating anti-Semitism was labeled 14188. And 14 is 14, stands for the 14 words that white supremacists and Nazis talk about, securing the future for their children or whatever. And then 88 is H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. HH stands for, hell, shithead, all laid off. And then the 1, because sometimes the 1488 is separated by a slash. So sometimes we'll see 14 by itself, sometimes we'll see 88 by itself, sometimes we'll see them together, and sometimes they'll be together with the slash. So 14188 is a big old Nazi dog whistle by this administration. And they and they plugged it onto a if they would have done it on anything that had nothing to do with religion, then it would have just passed on by and you wouldn't have paid any attention to it. But because they put it specifically on the one with anti-Semitism, that cannot be a coincidence. I refuse to believe that that was a coincidence. If it wasn't purposely done by Donald Trump, it was purposely done by one of his staff. So yeah. And we will continue to talk about that. And again, when I pointed that out to Jeff, when I pointed it out to conservatives, they never want to admit it. Oh, it has to be a coincidence. Oh, it must be something else. Oh, look at all the support he does for Israel. No, supporting Israel doesn't mean, as again, Hal Sparks talked about this earlier today, and I'll talk about this for just briefly about it. Simply the fact that the type of evangelical types that support Israel, and I'm not going to claim that Donald Trump is an evangelical type, but he's pandering to the evangelical types. The reason that you want all the Jews to be in Israel, if you're an evangelical Christian, is because in order for the end times prophecies to come true, you need all the Jews to be over there, or at least even a bunch more Jews to be over there, so that we can all die. With friends like that, who needs enemies? I don't need friends like that at all. That's not being friendly to the Jews. It's not being supportive of the Jews. And when Donald Trump does plenty of other things that has been anti-Semitic, we can go over all of the things if you would want to, but it's all available on liberaldanradio.com. Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from Left, that's right. You will absolutely see many examples of Donald Trump being an anti-Semite. Oh, but his daughter converted, so who cares? If David Duke's daughter, if he had a daughter and married a black person, do you think David Duke would magically stop being racist? Fuck no. Absolutely not. These people have so much hatred in their hearts that their hearts have been hardened and they can't be turned. And sometimes you might wonder, well, why do you engage with these people? There's somebody on one of my videos that was trying to argue me back and forth. Again, if you're new to Liberal Dan Radio, we have a new playlist that's called Liberal Dan U, which has a more kind of calm, rational way of talking about things, and we're not animated, we're not excited. It's actually an AI version of my voice too, because it just makes it easier for me to kick a script into the thing. I don't have to re-record it 17 different times. I don't have to produce anything. I just spit it in and it spits it out. That kind of sounded dirty.
Oh my.
Anyway, so point being, I don't know where I was going with this. Lost my train of thought because I made the dirty comment and had to make the make the oh my. JD Christie, Stephen Miller, the Sonder Commando-in-Chief. Yes, exactly. Yes, it's all dog whistles. Tons of dog whistles. I have the best dog whistles. Nobody has better whistles. Let's see. If you can remind me where I was and where I lost my train of thought, let me know in the chat. I'll get back there once I think of it, but I mean, it'll be easier first. Bald Thanos. My favorite YouTube video of all time is when WWE Steve Austin lays the Stone Cold Stunner on Donald Trump. Yes, that is a good one. Of course, but back in 2016, I was saying how embarrassing it was that we were going to potentially elect somebody president who shaved Vince McMahon's hair on live TV. So... Liberal Dan Radio doing the weave. I don't have a weave. You were talking about what happened if Biden. I won't play the church to every game. You were talking about what would happen if Biden posted a bunch of racist dog whistles on Truth Social shithole.
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, the screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
A church at every game is like, dance, monkey, dance. Do it, or play my song for me. Play that funky music, white boy. Truth shithole shows truth sinkhole. Yeah, I think truth shithole is better as well. That is a better. I'm gonna have to start calling it truth shithole from now on. Thank you for giving me that. Appreciate you. Atrocious at every game. So what else? But anyway, so I was talking on. I think one of the things I was going to start talking about was the fact that I had. Liberal Dan U. That's right. One of the new playlists, Liberal Dan U, were a more calm, reserved, less animated type thing, made by AI. And we have, I think, 5 of them made so far. And one of them was on the topic of rape culture. And this one guy was just constantly just posting like walls of text. And I'm like, come on, keep bringing the walls of text. Every time you post a wall of text, that gives me more algorithmic help. More people are going to see it simply because you're helping me out with that. And it wasn't even on that. I think it was on another video where I had mentioned rape culture for a second. And I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, I'm going to go make a rape culture video to talk about with the fact that we live in a rape culture. And of course, they didn't want to. He was like, I'm not going to watch your video. I was like, yeah, well, and the reason that I engaged. That's the point I was making. That's the point that I was getting to. I knew I would get back to it. And the reason I engage with such people, the reason that, when somebody says something in the chat that's negative, if I have a conservative caller who doesn't go too far off the rails or whatever, the reason I engage with these people is not because I believe one iota that these people are going to be somehow convinced by my arguments. I don't think that those individual peoples with whom I'm engaging are savable. I don't think they're irredeemable, as someone once said. They're people who are living in that basket of deplorables, as I think the same person said, Hillary Clinton. The reason that we engage with these trolls, the reason that we engage with them, is because you cannot let what they say go unsaid. You cannot let them say they're garbage without it being countered. Now, I used to have a problem with this personally. When people would attack me personally, and they would constantly double down, triple down on it, it would absolutely affect me. And I figured out why, and we're not going to go into that in a second. Maybe we can go into it later. I don't know. But it had an effect on me, and once I realized though why I was doing it, I kind of stopped because I didn't want to allow myself on the personal level with people getting down and insulting me personally. I didn't want to allow myself to get bogged down in that. But getting myself bogged down, combating the toxicity, combating racism, bigotry, etc. I don't expect many of these people to be convinced, but what I do want to do and make sure to do is to combat the effect that they might have by posting those things on my videos and posting those things out on the internet, and as such, we'll make sure that the other people who might be swayed by them have another point of view that can be used to contrast with theirs and hopefully make a better argument so that they're not swayed to go over and agree with these incel, MGTOW, red pill, MAGA, conservative type shitheads. So, Cosmic Rose, the trust game clipped it for you, but they made me use truth shithole instead of spelling it. That's funny. Let's see. What else is being said in the chat? Conservatives don't like being confronted for having a lack of conscience. That is very true. That is a very valid and true statement. Joel, Liberal Dan can talk. I can talk, yes. I can, and I often do. Wait, your name is Joel? Are you also a fish? Because, everyone's going to start trying to tag Joel and they're going to have fish spinning around or whatever. Wonder what would happen if you put @ and then Joel with the uppercase J, if it's going to actually tag his name or if it's going to spit a fish around. on at least what Botrix puts up there, right? Let's see. Kinky Streets, when and where Trump grew up, everything was segregated. There was WASP, Catholics, and Jewish country clubs. Yeah, I mean, because again, as he was growing up, I mean, of course, Donald Trump's dad was a big old racist too. I mean, then the racist nut doesn't fall far from the tree. So, Kalahella. Hey, Kalahella. Good to haven't seen you in forever, I don't think. Or you aren't two vision yet. Feel that highs with that double vision. Ooh, when it gets through to me. Trevo, like cat calls, do trolls actually try to turn people? I don't really know. But when it comes to like cat calls, it's one thing that, again, people, one of the things that I applaud Nat, if you missed Thursday's show, missed the shows from last week, Nat, the son of B, my good friend, you know, they were on the show talking about a little bit of, you know, racism that was going on at his school, and especially with him going out there and protesting the ICE murders, and he was going to get punished for it, but because they were on Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, That's Right, one of the administrators at the school saw the show and was like, you made some very good points, and we're changing some things. We're going to make sure your kid can come back to a safe environment. So, but one thing I was proud for Nat of was simply the fact that he stood up and did the right thing in the face. He spoke truth to power. He did something that was, you know, most people, a lot of people at least, won't do. So when you see people like catcalling out in the street or whatever, you know, you should step up and say something if you feel you have the power to do so, if you feel that you're privileged enough to do so. If you know, it's very important that we stand up and we, you know, because again, the people who are catcalling, as you bring up, don't, you know, think that they're going to actually change people's minds. But if you don't stand up and say, hey, that's rude, that's not something you should be doing, that's shitty of you, don't do that, other people might watch the catcalling and be like, oh, well, that's an okay thing to do because nobody's raising a stink. You need to raise a stink. Whenever you see wrongs going on, you need to raise a stink. And then coming back to the arguments we were making earlier in the show, when you see wrongs going on, you don't make a stink because you hope other people are going to make a stink when you yourself are wronged. You, again, treating others as if you treating others as you would have them treat you is not the same thing as treating people well because you expect them to treat you well in kind. Again, it's a subtle difference, but it's very important to point out. But standing up and speaking out against hatred, bigotry, etc. is a very important thing to do, not just because it shows the people who are being oppressed that they are being, or have people who will stand up for them, but it also shows the people who might see the oppression and say, oh, well, let me join them. You say, oh, no, well, maybe we're not going to join them because of the cogent points being made by the people standing in opposition to those folks. See, Kinky Streets. Hey, Kinky Streets. Trump wants that world again. That's MAGA, a segregated USA. Exactly. Suzanne, I'm going with the flow. It's fair enough. Let's see. Thank you, Cosmic Rose. Why don't more people watch this show? Shame. Like and share, peeps. Well, that's why I include in the opening intro or opening song, the Liberal Dan Radio theme song. It's the best show that you're not listening to. I mean, you are, but there are plenty of other people out there that are not watching it. And so I'm not saying it's the best show out there. It's just the best show that many people are not listening to. There are plenty of people who are listening to Hal who are not listening to me, and that's fine. And there's a little bit of overlap, but I don't care about that. It's fine. It's nice to have a little bit of overlap simply so that we can, you know, have a nice seamless transition when the raids happen. But yeah, we definitely need to. That's why I keep pushing y'all to help the algorithm, because Al Gore needs more of them. DB Golding, it takes time. It does take time, but it also takes a concerted effort too. It takes a village, so to speak. And as the village grows, you get more people who want to go into the village because, oh, what's going on in this village, right? So, Cosmic Rose, I share your clips on Blue Sky because it's the right thing to do. Appreciate you. I said that to start the show off. I appreciate you, Cosmic Rose. It's very visible to me that you are sharing a lot of the clips, a lot of the content that I create, and I absolutely appreciate it 100%. You can't type today. I can't type any day. I have gigantic fat fingers, and I have fat finger things all the time. You know, it's a little maybe a little bit hypocritical of me to pick on Trump for misspelled keystrokes, because I often also have misspelled. I even started this show with a misspelled keystroke, right? Damn, you invoked Hillary 3 times tonight. Can you make some variant of but her emails, or if Hillary had Hillary done it, or if Hillary had done it, or whatever, or what if we were not dumbasses and elected Hillary Clinton instead? But if I say Hillary Clinton 3 times, will she appear like Beetlejuice and call into the show? Probably not. But wait, you have a boo-boo on your index finger? So do I! I had a slight mistake yesterday when I was peeling potatoes, and I also have, is it your left one or your right one? Because I have a little boo-boo on. I don't know if you can really see it all that well, but yeah, I have a little bit of a boo-boo on me. It wasn't enough for a Band-Aid, but it's still there. So I voted for Hillary too, as atrocious at every game. So Joel, anyway, who are we laughing at? We were laughing at MAGA fools earlier for following a AI foot fetish model. That mouse moves my eyes on the keyboard, which I don't know. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. See. I myself think it comes down to monetary status. Why the hell would they want crazy-eyed idiot Kash Patel? Why would they want this guy? Why would you think that this person wouldn't be good at the FBI? I mean, if justice is supposed to be blind, maybe it's cross-eyed too, right? Let's see. America is a club, and the workers without money aren't part of the fucking club. My life-saving medicine went from free to $3,000 a month this year because our government doesn't care. Holy shit! Do you mind sharing what medicine that is? And are you getting it from insurance, or are you not insured? Let's see. Hillary was the first one who helped me say that Jake Tapper was a fucking asshole. October 2016, he tweeted some variant of, you can't just care about the Access Hollywood tape or the emails, but not the other. Yeah, Jake Tapper's a piece of shit. Is it his eyes or his eye sockets that make him look crazy? I think it's him that makes him look crazy. I mean, he's probably sitting there paranoid of what might happen, and therefore he has that crazy look all the time. I mean, I don't think I look like a crazy person, and, you know, but I might be a crazy person. At least I don't look like it. Yeah, he equivocated between Trump bragging about sexual assault and but her emails after she was cleared. What in the fuck? And then Trump went ahead and signed a bill into law making it a felony of 5 years in prison for every example of you mishandling classified information, and then went ahead and violated his own law. But because Merrick Garland was maybe one of our worst AGs, we didn't get any action on that we should have gotten it, because they should have opened the case in New Jersey instead of in Florida, because in New Jersey, you actually had a really good example of him showing people classified information that shouldn't have been showed classified information. Increased sclera, white exposure, known as wide-eyed fear, is a human signal of terror and anxiety that activates the amygdala. I think you said that last time, or whatever. JD Christie, you look more like a serial killer. I mean, I do devour some toasted oatmeal squares and some Special K. I'm less so because of the health and because of my injections, the Zepbound that have been taken that have made me helped me lose at least 150 plus pounds. You know, whatever. So, but I appreciate the, you know, there are some serial killers who look good apparently to some people. I mean, people loved the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. I don't know, I mean, if they really thought he was good looking, but Ted Bundy was apparently a very good looking person. So Cash has a wandering eye. Don't tell his girlfriend. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate you. I didn't make potato pierogies, but that does sound delicious. What I did make was like a beef version of shepherd's pie. It wasn't really shepherd's pie, because shepherd's pie, I think if you want real shepherd's pie, it includes lamb and not beef. But we did take some beef, put some gluten-free gravy, which is actually pretty good. The one we found has been pretty good. Put some mashed potatoes on it, you know, doctor the mashed potatoes up. It actually tasted pretty good. Let's see, what else? There was something else that I did want to see or respond to. Triva goes, yes, I agree. I always call out racist jokes in comments. It doesn't make them less racist. It just makes them not tell racist jokes around me. Good point. Did I say hello to Kinky Streets? If I haven't, hey. I think I did, but no harm in saying hello again, right? You say goodbye, and I say hello. Hello, hello. I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. Anyway. Liberal Dan karaoke! Karaoke from the left, that's right. Anyway, or maybe it's not right. Maybe it's, you know, not awful. Imagine his girlfriend trying to stare in his eyes. Which one? You have to pick one. You have to pick the one that you think is actually looking at you. I guess it doesn't matter, though, if you're on the, you know, on the FBI special jet that, you know, he criticized, you know, the previous FBI director for using, but now he used it to go all sorts of places and ferry his girlfriend around. His country music singing girlfriend or whatever, right? So, let's see. The night Hillary lost, we lost the Scottish generation for our generation, and Trump was never ever getting held accountable for his crimes. No, he wasn't. Let's see. I think it was frustration with what had happened. Speaker's hint, stare between the eyebrows. That sounds right. Medicaid, combat vet, Zafaxin, $3K a month from Big Pharma. And I guess, and because you have Medicaid, I'm guessing you can't then use Trump RX, or is it not available on Trump RX? His stupid prescription website that he thinks is it's the greatest thing since I was elected president. But yeah, the money taxpayers are paying for his girlfriend of Secret Service protection, that too. Jeff, hey, we have a guy with eyes in 2 time zones. That's good, ain't it? I mean, if you want to keep an eye on crime, might as well have eyes on 2 time zones instead of 1, right? You need George Martin and half of an orchestra to do that tune. Not if you do it a cappella, right? Yeah, the entire 47th administration is completely incompetent. And if they're not incompetent, it's willful incompetence, which is the same thing. Like they're choosing to do his bidding instead of standing up to him, like some people in the first term did. Like, you know, that's why he made sure to have the stupids in his administration. So that, and then he realized that, oh, we went too stupid, so therefore they had to move Kristi Noem away from DHS to somewhere else. But then they're getting frickin' whatchamacallit, the guy, Mark Wayne Mullen. The funniest thing I heard was that the reason Mark Wayne Mullen, his mom named him Mark Wayne instead of Mark or Wayne is that her brothers were named Mark and Wayne, and she couldn't figure out which one was the dad. I wish I could take credit for thinking of that myself, but I did not. I don't remember who posted it or whatever, but it's definitely not mine, but I had to repeat it on the show because it was hilarious. But again, Mark Mullen is somebody, again, a DEI hire, as they would say. They like to call DEI hires people who are not qualified for the job who got the job. Now, that's not what DEI hires actually are. DEI hires means you want a diverse workforce. You want to have equity to make sure people who need this anything different, like ramps or anything else, different types of computer equipment that might help them be more productive, that you could have them, and and inclusion, being inclusive of everybody as well. That's what DEI actually is. But their straw man argument of what DEI is, or hiring people who are not qualified to do the job. Well, hiring Mark Wayne Mullen to do the job of leading DHS, someone with without a college degree, without I think much of any military experience, just threatening to beat somebody up in a Senate hearing one time, of course with Bernie Sanders be like, "Senator, sit down, Senator, we need some decorum," whatever. So yeah, that's the guy, and I think the hearings for him replacing Christie the dog killer gnome, or the puppy killer gnome, I should say, and goat killer too. I think that's Wednesday. So maybe Wednesday we'll go over some of the hearings and see what people have to say in response to old Mark Wayne and his ability to do a bet. I mean, look. I'll give Mark Wayne Mullen credit for, or not credit for this, but whether asking him if he will do a better job than Kristi Noem, that's a very low bar. That's a very low bar indeed. The idea that somebody should have to do better than Kristi Noem, I mean, are you breathing? You have a 50-50 shot of doing better than Kristi Noem at that point. So, Steve, may I say something to all the sparklers? Do you want to do it on the phone or just want to type it in the chat? But first of all, hello, Steve, from across the pond.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Thank you. Ill-fitting Florsheim shoes regime. Yeah, exactly. But yes, if you want to say something in text, just type it out in text and I'll read it out. Let's see, Vivek Ramaswamy, old candidate Man Bear Pig, did a pump and dump with help from his mom to gain his fortune. There you go. Pump and dump is what Donald Trump also does with Melania as well. That's about how long it lasts. So we've, at least heard from Stormy, right? So let's see. It's Steve. So yeah, Steve, you can say something, but you have to type it for me to be able to know it, unless you're emailing me. How are you communicating these words that you want to say to the Sparklerverse? So, Josh sees nobody got what did you say? Marcane Decide? I don't get the pun. Yes, Triva, Man Bear Pig. Do you know Marquis of Mullins? Do you know why I call him Man Bear Pig though? It's because his literal senior thesis in college, Vivek Ramaswamy's literal senior thesis, was on the ethics of human-animal chimerism. Like, what happens if you splice the genes together of, humans and animals, and how you deal with the ethics of what comes afterwards. He literally did his senior thesis on Man Bear Pig. It's absurd. Let's see, Steve, I saw a YouTube short where some right-wing comedian claimed Hal was being an a-hole. Every comment was that's bullshit, didn't happen. Hal's great, every comment, proud of you all. Look, I mean, there are some times where I'll admit to being an a-hole. I generally try to not be one, but I can bring out the assholishness if I need to. But was it Brewer? Was it Jim Brewer's YouTube short or whatever? Yeah, if you can find the short, send it to me, because I did see Hal talking about Brewer earlier today, and whatever he was talking about something he randomly spoke to somebody on a plane or something like that. Jim Brewer is just a completely unfunny individual. I have no idea how he was able to get on Saturday Night Live. He's terrible. I get humor is subjective, but still horrible. Jim Brewer is one of the worst things I heard from Jim Brewer. I was listening to Sirius XM, and they have their comedy channel, and Jim Brewer had a whole bit as to how he would do Dennis Leary's asshole song differently. He's like, if I was Dennis Leary, I would have done it this way. And I'm like, nobody gives a fuck, dude. Nobody gives a damn rat's ass as to how you would do that song differently. I mean, you didn't do it. You didn't write it, right? There's a reason why he wrote it and you didn't, because he's much more talented than you are, dude. So no, nobody needs to listen to why. And even before he came out with that crap, and this was years ago that I heard that, I still was just like, his bits would come on SNL, and I'm like, that's just not funny whatsoever. Like his goat boy or whatever, just that you can look like a goat and and make sounds like a goat doesn't mean that you are the goat, nor does it mean that you are funny in any way, shape, or form. So Triva goes, they confused Hal with someone else. It's possible. Yeah. Karen and you, look, me and Karen, same thing. I was saying it as you were typing it, and you didn't hear it until after it came up on the screen. So there, Gnome picked the wrong goat. Exactly. Actually, Dennis Leary's I'm an Asshole is a song that I'm tempted to do at karaoke, although I mean, some of the lyrics are now seen as being problematic, so I'm not sure if I want to do it or not. Of course, I did Richard Cheese's version of My Neck, My Back, and I just altered the word to make it not terrible anymore. So Cosmic Rose liked Goat Boy. I mean, again, as I said, humor is subjective, but I've never really been a fan of Jim Brewer. Just meh. So let's see. What else? Hey, Kevin, good to see you. More spinning fish. Somebody did want me to make a spinning fish song, but I don't know if I could make a whole spinning fish song. I don't know if that would be a good use of my credits. So see, Steve, do you know the title of the video? I want to go leave a constructive comment. Says atrocious in every game. Let's see. Nah, they named Hal Sparks. I don't know why YouTube even sent it my way except Hal's name. I mean, they probably mentioned Hal Sparks in the video, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they mistakenly took. They might have still mistakenly said it was Hal Sparks when it's somebody else. Hey, it could have been John Stamos or Paul Rudd, right? Because that's what the video, at least Hal, makes it think like. Actually, I thought the first thing with the long-haired Hal Sparks, with him doing like a big smile like this, I thought it was pretty close. And not exactly Hal, but pretty close. So see Cosmic Rose, that's Dana Carvey. Church Lady is Dana Carvey. And I loved church chat with Dana Carvey, or the Church Lady. Isn't that special? Anyway. Or Broomer. All leather cow interior with big brown baby taillights for headlights. Yeah, I'm gonna drive around that baby at 115 miles per hour, getting 1 mile per gallon, sucking down quarter-pound cheeseburgers from McDonald's in the old-fashioned, non-biodegradable styrofoam containers. When I'm done sucking down those greaseball burgers, I'm gonna wipe my mouth with the American flag, and I'm gonna toss the styrofoam container right out the side of it. Ain't a goddamn thing anybody could do about it. You know why? Because we got the bomb. That's why. 2 words: nuclear fucking weapons. Okay? Russia, Germany, Romania, they can have all the democracy they want. They can have a big democracy cakewalk right through the middle of Tiananmen Square, and won't make a lick of difference because we got the bombs. Okay? Not bad for a song that's that old for me knowing that whole rant, right? John Wayne's not dead. He's frozen. And as soon as they find a cure for cancer, we're going to thaw out the Duke, and he's going to be pretty pissed off. You know why? You ever had to take in a cold shower? Multiply that by 18 million times. That's how pissed off the Duke's going to be. I'm going to get the Duke and John Cassavetes and Lee Marvin and Sam Peckinforth and a case of whiskey and drive down to Texas. You know you really are an asshole. Why don't you shut up and sing the song, pal? Anyway. Thank you, Aaron. I am a limitless... You know, Big Hook does say that I have an eidetic memory. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But... yeah, I am an enormous wealth of useless information. So, chopping broccoli was good as well, exactly. Even Aaron was impressed. Wow. I still like SNL for the Weekend Update. The Weekend Update's the best one, especially when they write jokes for each other and make each other say terrible shit. I love that one. That's great. So... And I even started it late because Orb Rumor started it at the all that the cow interior and Big Brown Baby's Healing. It started there. What it should have started earlier. Anyway, we're getting way off track tonight. Only problem is Lee Marvin and the Duke didn't get along. Well, that's why they needed a case of whiskey so they could drive down to Texas and get drunk. I don't know what they were going to do. I don't know what he was going to do with Lee Marvin and Sam Peckinforth and a case of whiskey, but they're going to drink the whiskey and then go to Texas and do something. I don't know what they were going to do because, you know, he told him that he was an asshole. Why don't you shut up and sing the song, right? So, yes, that is the verse, or exactly the verse, Orb Rumor, that I'm hesitant to perform at karaoke, specifically because I don't want to do the spaces for the disabled folks. So. So the only thing I like now is the cold opens and the weekend update. Yeah, weekend update, exactly. But also, one of the best things, the best thing that come out of Saturday Night Live recently was that Beavis and Butthead skit where, they just could not keep a straight face whatsoever because they were just laughing so hard. Anytime that somebody laughs and, breaks character because it's just so funny is just absolutely hilarious. It's one of the best things. So, I could really just start going, I'm just a regular Joe with a regular job. I'm your average white suburbanite slob. I like football and porno and books about war. I got an average house with a nice hardwood floor. My wife and my job, my kids and my car. My feet on my table and a Cuban cigar. Anyway, I think we've not had enough asshole for tonight. Steve, what's my email address? liberaldanradio@gmail.com is my email address. It is 9 o'clock, so we're going to do a top of the hour show break. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from left, or show reset, I guess. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from left, that's right. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays here on YouTube at liberaldanradio.com is the link to the YouTube channel, and twitch.liberaldanradio.com will bring you to the Twitch channel. But it's Liberal Dan Radio all over social media. We go as long as we feel like going on those days, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and sometimes special occasions as well. There's also a whole bunch of videos that you can watch. There's the Unraveling Toxic Masculinity playlist. You have the new Liberal Dan U playlist. There's a whole bunch of other playlists that are available out there. Coming to terms with activism. Plus there's, just all of the other content that's here. Plus there's the great listeners, the watchers, the viewers who watch every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday here on liberaldanradio.com. And I appreciate every single one of you to support the show. Again, like, share, subscribe, help the algorithm. Al Gore needs more rhythm. The most important thing that anybody can do is just go onto YouTube, find videos, respond to people, interact with people, leave longer comments. Longer comments are apparently better according to Riverboat Jack, one of the other shows I watch on YouTube, usually after my show is over. I think I see Josh C's over there, some other people who are Danimals, Sparklers, etc. go over there as well. But according to Riverboat Jack, some of the algorithmic help comes by leaving longer comments. But you have, liking, sharing, subscribing, anything you could do to help the show out. Go follow me on all the different social media channels that you're a part of. Lather, rinse, repeat. And if you have if you could spare a few shekels, there's also the Liberal Dan Venmo. There's super chat, super stickers, gifting memberships, gifting subscriptions, YouTube and Twitch, respectively. If you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you anything. You can subscribe for free using your Amazon Prime thing. Of course, I'm sure most sparklers are using it for Hound to begin with. So it is what it is. Wait, that's Donald Trump's line.
It is what it is.
Anyway, so again, we are trying to get the show to grow. I think I was at about 1,300 at the beginning of the year. Now I'm at 1,500. We are growing again. I think the AI tool that I've used has helped a little bit of it, but I think also the commenting and, responding that y'all have done on the YouTube videos has also helped that as well. So I appreciate every one of you who has done that. I understand you don't have the time to do everything. I don't have the time to watch as many of the YouTube channels that I would love to watch as well, between, whatchamacallit. Also, I did want to say I have said that there are 4 Liberal Dan Radio songs available on Spotify. There are now 5 Liberal Dan Radio songs available on Spotify because the Man of Peace is the one that I got. All right, let's see. Let's bring this up real quick. Here we go. Ask and we shall receive, right? Hold on. Let's see what this is. It's Cabo's Wild Story or whatever. Let's see what this is. Since we just got it from Steve, here we go.
Got into a fight with Hal Sparks.
A fist fight with Hal Sparks?
No, and on stage in front of an audience.
Why?
Seth Herzog has this show called Sweet that he's been doing in New York forever, and the way the show works is he has a co-host, and if you're the co-host, you sit with Seth on the side of the stage, and you riff with the comics.
Sure.
And like in New York, it'll be like literally like Will Forte or like Justin Long or Sam Rockwell. He gets all these really fun people. And in Cabo, he's like, brother,
who is this dude? I don't even know who this guy is. Like, who is this person? I don't think I even recognize this person one bit.
Done Sweet a million times. Like, just co-host with me. It'll be fun. So I was like, that'd be great. So we're sitting there. Of course, we're in a nightmare fucking bar where it's not a good show to begin with because of Cabo, I mean. And then Hal Sparks went on, and I guess he didn't know what the show was. And he was talking, and I jumped in and said something. And he goes, I got it from here, pal. All right? I don't need your fucking help. Right? Like that. So, dude, I sit back, and immediately it's like,
yeah,
I had a talk. And of course here, Tasha, Hal's great. Owen says BS, but I'm sure he's willing to have you on and talk about it live. Hal says it never happened. Danny Walker, things that never happened. Hal isn't someone you want to fight with. Hal Sparks would run circles around you every day if this ever happened. Wow, so classy to joke about Hal when he's sitting on his dad's dying bedside for a month. I love Hal Sparks. Hal is gaming momentum. Keep it up, guys. Hal would have embarrassed the shit out of you. Hal would destroy you. I doubt this ever happened. This is bottom of the barrel bro culture. This is some bullshit. We see through it. Hal rules. Go, Hal, go. You dodged a bullet, my guy. Let's see. I saw his channel, and he spent the first 50 minutes telling the viewers what a genius and super talent he is. I mean, it's true. He is very smart. Bruh, you got rolled into comments. I'm sure Hal would smoke you in one puff. BS, I stand with Hal. From Steve. I'm gonna like Steve's comment. There you go. Steve from across the pond.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Anyway, so thank you, Steve, for forwarding that to me real quickly. Appreciate you. And yeah, Hal is nice cat, not mean. How do you spell shekel? I don't know. It's a Hebrew word. Shin. What would it be? Shin, Kuf, Lamed? I think that would be the correct way to spell shekel. However, that being said, you're probably asking for the English version, which would be however you want to do it, because it's just a transliteration of the Hebrew letters into English words. So probably S-H-E-C-K-E-L. We got a hype train going on. Jolie subscribing with Amazon Prime on a 4-month streak. We got Trisha, who subscribed tier 1. Thank you so much. Wow, that's my first hype train in forever. Look at that. Appreciate y'all for starting the hype train. So yeah, but thank you for subscribing to tier 1. Thank you for resubscribing with Prime. There you go. Hal figured out who they confused Hal with. Wait, Triva, who did they confuse Hal with? That's what I want to know. Who is it? That'd be shekel, not shackle. Shekel is the word. Woo woo! All aboard the hype train. So says sub, cheer, or gift. So if you want to gift memberships, you can as well. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think shekel needs a whole bunch of phlegm or broomer because it's not one of the like the chaim. The chaim definitely needs a bunch of phlegm to be able to get that done. Hey, 50 bits from Aaron. Thank you very much, Aaron. Appreciate you for the bits. 65% of the way to level 2 hype train. All aboard to the hype train. Meanwhile, we could do this over here on YouTube as well. I think I have 5 more to gift. There we go. I'm gifting 5 memberships over on YouTube as well. So Kella Hella got one. Karen got one. Andrea got one. Wow. That's 3 that I know, and 2 of them are currently in chat. So there you go. I love it when people who are actually watching get it, and I love it when people I love when the people who do that. And actually, thank you also, One Vision, for becoming a liberal Danimal as well. Appreciate you. Say ha. Thank you so much. So let's see. Yep, that's it. That's all the ones. I didn't miss anything like that. Triva, I can't be the only one who saw the stream where Hal talked about that. I mean, I don't watch every Hal stream because I can't. I'd like to be able to, but I can't. But I missed that one, unfortunately. So, Suzanne, I never get anything. I'm sorry, Suzanne. I wish they could direct it. I wish they could allow you to target it and be like, hey, here you go, here it is. But I think anybody who does it is, I think it's anybody who's subscribed to the channel, which can potentially get a new one. Like what is it, the Shmooly Network or whatever, the Shuli Network? They talk about like Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony all the time, and and Stuttering John or whatever. But I actually did get a gifted membership to that one because I subbed over there for a while ago for some reason. So Oh, do you have to opt in for it? I thought you had to opt out. Who knows? Let's see. I've watched Hal for 5.5 years to see if he's ever wrong about anything. I disagree with him twice, but I've only seen 2 wrong guesses, so not about established facts. Yeah, I mean, there are a few things that I disagree with Hal. Again, I know Hal is more against TikTok, you know, and has a problem with it because the way it directs the algorithm towards people. I think that's Hal's main problem with it, is not that it's, you know, from where it's from or whatever, but the fact that it will drive, you know, algorithmic traffic to people to try and, you know, make them be angry and pissed off or whatever. But a lot of social media does that too. So I mean, I'll use it as a tool. I used to use it as a tool to create shorts to go plug up to YouTube. That hasn't happened as much simply because of the fact that I now have the Opus Clip tool to do that. Taco face fart. MAGA has no feet pick game. Hilarious. Yeah. That's great. And they can't even tell if the foot. I guess you should really be impressed though with the AI that was used to generate that one user's profile, simply because of the fact that they managed to. I don't think there were 6 toes on any of them. I think that the feet actually looked like actual genuine feet, unlike the hands, which look like hands. You know, which sometimes AI will make, like, you know, even the AI video, the animated little baby Trump during the song is like he has 4 arms. So I guess to be forearmed is to be forewarned, or to be forewarned is forearmed. I guess Aaron also says TikTok takes all of your info. But yeah, I mean, I might be banned off of it soon anyway. So, so yeah, I don't know. At the time when I was using it more often to try and get it to get stuff, you know, going with the podcast, it was just like, look, I need tools to help me grow, and that tool I need less now because now we have all the other ones, and we now have, you know, all the great viewers and watchers that watch that also help expand the show. So. See what Pam says. Hal doesn't understand that the British royalty doesn't run the government. We keep trying to get into research so we'll understand, but he's like Reagan and the welfare queen. I mean, I don't, you know, I don't understand. I will go full on, you know, not redneck, but full on, like, we fought a revolutionary war, so we don't have to worry about no goddamn queen or king of England, god damn it. So I was like, we shouldn't be upholding British royalty to anything. Of course, now that we've seen that British royalty seemed to protect certain people who are part of British royalty, yeah, you know. So, what was it? Prince, the prince who's no longer prince, formerly known as a prince. Let's see. Lots of people do necessary evil for some, which is unfortunate. So. You can run AI on a good computer while not connected to the web, is what I'm told. I think I heard that on. I just don't know how good the AI would be in learning or whatever. I'd probably have to get a server in my house or whatever. Maybe at some point if I you know, become mega rich and famous or whatever, I'll get myself a nice big server that will be listen, AI is an algorithm spy program. It's not science. I mean, again, there are a lot of people that have problems with AI. There are a lot of people that have problems with TikTok. I mean, look, to me, if as long as you're informed as to what the risks are involved in you using a tool, and you're not harming anybody else with using the tool, then use the tool. Some people might argue with AI that you are harming other people because you're supporting businesses that do things. And look, again, but that argument is more of a capitalism argument than it is a AI argument, because there are many businesses out there in this capitalistic society that we live in that do unethical actions that harm people. So if you're going to stop using AI because if the people who are running AI companies do unethical things that harm people, you need to stop using any business that does unethical practices, and then you're going to starve, and then you're not going to go you're not going to go use insurance, you're not going to do whatever. I mean, the only drawback right now with my new job that I got, speaking of health insurance and medicines that it may or may not be covered, Blue Cross Blue Shield, or LA Blue is what they call it here in Louisiana, did not have a problem covering like Zepbound You needed prior authorization, but you just needed to be obese to get the prior authorization to get Zepbound. On United Healthcare, which is my new one, you have to be obese and have apnea to have it. So it's like, and I do, like I do have a sleep apnea. I do have obstructive sleep apnea. I sleep with a CPAP machine as well. So I have it, but they make you jump through so many hoops that they already denied my first prior authorization attempt. I only have one pen left, so I'm not going to be very happy at all if I am then required to go, pay out of pocket for the medicine that's helping me become more healthy. So, yeah, gotta love apnea. Exactly. Let's see. Orb not me. Rick. I am not me. Rick beat a video running LLM on a Mac Studio with a 4 terabyte hard drive and 120. Oh, interesting. I'll have to go look that out more, I guess. I should listen to Hal's AI stuff more on Fridays, simply because of the fact that I've been utilizing and leveraging AI a whole bunch for the show recently, and that's part of the reason why we've grown as much as we have. It's one of the reasons why I went from, again, over 2 months after not growing at all for months. I grew from I've been getting 50 to 100 subs over on YouTube every 20 for the last 28 days, or every 28 days, or rolling 28-day totals or whatever that keeps it standard. I've also had my total amount of hours watched, total amount of views watched went from 5,000 to over 100,000. It actually topped 100,000 in the last 28 days the other day, and we're hovering close, right around 100,000 at this point as well. And some of that, again, is because of user engagement and increased user engagement, and I appreciate that, and thank you all again for that. But some of it is just simply the fact that I'm leveraging an AI tool that knows how to chop up these videos and throw it up on you. Now, do I let them go all willy-nilly? No, I don't let them go all willy-nilly. I still kind of check to see what the videos say. Sometimes I have to edit it down a little bit. Sometimes I have to edit a few things out. Sometimes I have to make them a little longer to make sure that it has the full context that I want to have in those videos. That being said, it's been a great tool that has allowed me to go up and get more exposure here on YouTube and beyond. Hell, I hardly ever even used my Instagram account before I started using this tool, and once I realized it would post to Instagram, I started just, hey, let's do this for shits and giggles, and I started getting hundreds. I got over 100,000 views in the last month on Instagram as well, simply because of that. See, a website, Hugging Face, has 2 million free downloads of LMM models you can run at home online. Email that to me. Email me that and I'll look into it. Let's see. I was impressed that Rick Beta knew AI stuff pretty well. Says Twitchy Nap, first time chat. Appreciate you coming to the channel. I remember that Dan guy I heard on Hal's show once. Yeah. Who's this liberal Dan guy? What? He only has 1,500 views, 1,500 subscribers over on YouTube that somebody talked about. I don't know if General's still here or not, but we have thank you very much, y'all. I have noticed that the likes, we have 115 concurrent viewers and 95 likes, which is, kind of high for a normal show here on Liberal Dan Radio Talk from the Left. That's right. Mr. Spock goes, you need a med bed. We do have a med bed. Actually, it's downstairs. It's not a great one, but we do have a hospital bed from when my mother-in-law was living with us during the last few years of her life or whatever. Suzanne goes, Liberal Dan, should I stop watching AI kitten videos? I don't think your AI kitten videos are going to hurt anybody. I don't have a problem with you. If you're getting simple enjoyment from watching AI kitty videos, go right ahead and watch your kitty videos. Watch Rick Beto video. I'll just mark that down. Rick Beto video, FF, 8 minutes. Okay. Note taken. What was the other thing that you said? Running LLM in Mac Studio. Anyway, there you go. I love ginger cats. I do. I mean, speaking of ginger cats, we have not seen Rose on my show. I have had a talking to with Rose, and I told Rose that she needs to, come and listen and come and watch the Liberal Dan radio show and come show off herself to the Liberal Dan Radio universe, simply because of the fact that, you know, y'all haven't seen her or her butt in a very long time. But she just refuses to come in, and I don't know why. So, Beato. Okay, there you go. Thank you for correcting me, 250 kilo ohm. The title is How AI Will Fail Like the Music Industry. Interesting. And there are a lot of there were people who are saying that there's like kind of an AI bubble and it might come crashing down or whatever. But if it does, for the moment, I'm still going to use it to help grow my show. So, as Trumpy Boy says,
it is what it is.
Or he also says this crap too, though.
But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way.
Yeah, the hard way is the easy way, y'all. Don't you know that?
Here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way.
How do we elect somebody who's so fucking stupid?
I said, well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen.
Now, can you imagine had Biden mispronounced drug names?
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, the screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
But one thing we are going to do right now is, I haven't seen Big Hook chatting in a while, but it doesn't just have to be Big Hook. But we have opened up the Liberal Dan Radio phone lines, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261. If you would like to call in and leave your 2 cents, say hello or whatever, I welcome y'all to do so. At 20 past the hour. It's 4:20 somewhere, right? So yes, you can call in. We can have a conversation. Appreciate you. We will... I still technically have the rule of $30 can cause you to hang up after 5 minutes. I'm gonna change it to 10 minutes. How about that? I will change the current rule to 10 minutes. Oh, we got a caller already. Look at that. We got Chad on the phone. What's going on, Chad? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Liberal Dan? How you making it? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
That's great. How you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there. What's going on?
Nothing. I've just been enjoying the show. You know, I'm trying to nurse myself back to health. I had a bit of some health issues, but everything's coming back together.
I feel you.
Yeah, I got a prolapsed asshole, and I tugged my cock right off.
Of course. There we go. So that person is no longer allowed to call into the show. We will deal with that accordingly. 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261. I guess you're bound to get that occasionally, right? But we will block that number. Bye-bye. Anyway, that was yes, everybody needed to know about his prolapse, right? So I knew it wasn't Chad. So I immediately knew it wasn't Chad, but yeah. Interesting. He did sound a little stoned, which you know, it happens from time to time, but you know, as Bob Dylan says, everybody must get stoned. Anyway, yes, I roll. You'd think, you know, and I will just sit here and debate conservatives all the live long day. I have no problem with debating conservatives, but you know, if you just don't be a dick, and I'll debate you, and we can have a good conversation. But that's like apparently the MAGA. Donald Trump said he loved the poorly educated after the 2016 Nevada primaries, and as such, those folks have to continuously try and earn that love or prove themselves worthy of that love still. So, yeah. And also, Pam, when you said that, like, as he was talking, when I was like, Chad, I'm like, oh, Chad on the phone or whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm just, my mouse just slowly went over to the red hang up button because I had a feeling that it was not going to be. Because, not to say that I'm prejudiced or anything, but I absolutely did prejudge him by his voice and the way that he was talking. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. That's fine. we are not going to have to worry about this caller saying anything stupid or shitty because we have there. And now I'm taking off the phone lines off, so please wait to call until the next caller calls in. Sorry, caller, for hanging up on you for the previous caller, but we got Big Hook on the phone right now. We'll put the phone number back up when we'll put the phone number back up when it's time for a phone number for other people to call in again. But how's your leg doing? How's things going with you? How's your weekend, Big Hook?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, no, I don't know what state you guys are in right now, because it's like you're in the middle of a war.
Sorry. I had to.
Yeah,
make the
no,
joke. I had to make the joke. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue,
well,
please.
everything is loose in Louisiana. Yeah, I know.
Wait,
they don't call it the Big Easy state for nothing. So,
well, I mean, it's me too, right? I am the big. Maybe me being the Big Easy is something that should be left for Liberal Dan Radio After Dark. Anyway, go on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no. Just wanted to say there's a lot of stuff that you have the war. You're spending $1 billion a day to bomb the crap out of Iran, and there's not going to be any regime change. There's not going to be there's, as far as we can tell, he hasn't secured any of the nuclear matter or anything, and there doesn't seem to be any plan for exit or anything. He's increased the price of oil, as well as put food security in threat, because all the potash and whatnot that comes from that area of the world, as well as the fertilizer, which is required for food markets and whatnot. I mean, he has made a colossal mess by following the whisperings of Netanyahu. And I mean, I don't know. Netanyahu has been saying that thing over the last 40 fucking years, that, oh yeah, Iran is 1 week away from obtaining a nuclear bomb. I mean, it's never ever come to fruition. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But, you guys don't have universal health care, which is a real problem. I mean, that you talk about, oh, we're the land of the free. Well, if you're trapped into a job because that's the only way that you're going to be able to keep your health insurance in case shit happens and you need it, you're not the land of the free. You don't have mobility. You don't have freedom to do anything. But, I look at it this way. I think I've said it before and again. The Scandinavian countries have it right. They tax at a really high level, but guess what? Everything is taken care of. Your housing is taken care of. Your health care is taken care of. Your education is taken care of. Everything is taken care of. All you got to do is show up, do your job, do whatever makes you happy, so long as it's not against the law, and live your life to 65 and retire and live out the rest of your life with security. I mean, it's not a whole lot to ask, but the thing is that that's the Star Trek future, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
Whereas the U.S.
conservatives don't understand that the Star Trek future is an end where you have hardly any capitalism, universal health care, scarcity has gone away, and it's a leftist utopia is what the Federation is, at least. But they don't understand that. They think, ooh, I can blow things up with photon torpedoes. That's cool,
Yeah, and this is just it. They have embraced the future. And meantime, the U.S. is backpedaling to the past, to hoping for, with the stupid evangelical, oh, we're going to see, revelation and whatnot. It's literally like they want an asteroid to hit the Earth and wipe out the dinosaurs, but in this case, all of humanity. You know what I mean? Like, God, it makes me mad how stupid these people are. Like, they cannot see how you get to what the Scandinavians have done. Oh, but if I pay taxes, then somebody will actually get what they need in life, I mean, like, it's ridiculous. Like, and that's the other thing, which pisses me off. Apparently, Gavin Newsom decided, he was going to come up with a big money-making ideal, which is that he was going to tax the billionaires 5% on their assets within California. And guess what? They're all fleeing from California now. I mean, like, think about it. What is 5% on $1 billion? That's $50 million.
A lot more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime, but still.
Yeah, but they'll never miss it. They'll never miss it.
No, they won't.
And that's just it. Like, and they're going, and the thing is that they're saying, screw the system that allowed me to get this fucking rich. And that should anger everybody and say, fuck you. Because from what I understand, the guy from Uber is leaving California to go live in Texas now because he doesn't want to pay the 5% tax.
Yep.
Spielberg as well. Like, it's not just, and you're just like, shit, these guys live in the lap of luxury already, and they cannot spare just a little bit of their fortune to help out the people that gave them their fortune.
Well, that's why
a little bit of payback
here. That's why we hold the position here that there is no such thing as an ethical billionaire. Not one. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's Oprah or Taylor Swift or Elon Musk or Bill Gates or whoever. There are no person has ever amassed $1 billion of wealth ethically. Period.
Like, I just don't get it anymore. You guys have really screwed the pooch. I mean, up here in Canada, yes, we have universal health care. Everybody is covered, and you can travel all across the country and chase your dreams and job aspirations anywhere across the country and not have to worry about that shit. And that's real freedom. I mean, obviously having more money gives you even more freedom, but, I mean, outside of that, that's like, you guys have fucked up the basics. You really have. And that's the thing. And that's what worries me as well, is that the politicians, even within the Democratic ranks, are they doing it for service of the people, or are they doing it because that's where the money is and there's going to be a lobbyist job waiting for them at the end or whatever? So are they posers or are they actual performers? I mean, that's just it. And Jeffrey, I
mean, you have a lot of movie stars that move to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, too, because of, tax reasons. Because that when you have more money, you're able to take advantage of more tax loopholes. So,
well, not only that, but they know how to hide the money. That's the thing as well. Like Wyoming, yeah, they've got 0% tax or whatever on assets and whatnot. And, and the same, I mean, that's the same thing that Joe Rogan did. He moved from California down to Texas because he wanted to keep more of his money because he doesn't want to see other people get anything that they need. But I drove my car and saw lots of homeless people in California, and I did nothing to help any of them. I mean, like, what a fucking asshole.
Yep.
I mean...
Speaking of the Dennis Leary song.
Yeah. Oh, God. But, if you guys get power back and whatnot, you have to insist that you fix everything that is fucked up, because you've you've run the gamut at 50 years of this bullshit where you've gone and enriched, 100 people within the U.S. to the point where they own 90% of all the wealth in the country. And, there's nothing left over for anybody else. And now, with the help of AI, your livelihood and your future are pretty much up in the air, and that's very, very worrying.
Yeah,
I'm worried about it here.
What some of my friends were talking about after our game night on Friday night, some of my friends were talking about that whole thing as well, about how AI, the risk, certain fields have higher risk with AI than other fields or whatever. But my point with that is, like, eventually with automation, you need to be able to come up with, as automation increases, and AI is just another form of automation, you're going to come up, you need to have something to basically make sure that the people who are losing their jobs, at least temporarily, have a way to earn money for themselves or whatever. That's why I'm a big supporter of UBI, because I think that we do need to make sure that people can have a minimum standard of living with UBI, universal health care, etc., to make sure that being poor isn't a death sentence. But so to the supposed pro-life crowd, to the people who are supposedly pro-life, the idea that poverty shouldn't be a death sentence is somehow shocking to them. Like, they can't fathom having a system that says poverty should not be a death sentence.
Yeah, but the thing is that nothing. Just the one. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Nothing really makes sense anymore. Like, it's like you're living a nightmare and you're waiting for Cher to come over and smack you in the face and say, wake the fuck up.
Snap out of it.
I mean, you keep playing the same game over and over again, and you're playing a game of diminishing returns every single time, rather than fix the whole thing. And, you need to go back to RFK, or not RFK, but you know what I'm talking about, the standards before, where, the rich were taxed at 90%. Mm-hmm. The corporations were taxed at 75%. All that money went into the social welfare system and made sure that everybody had everything. And then had added incentives that if you actually used your corporation to do actual research and development that then furthered everything, that you would get tax breaks. But that meant that you had to have people who were making a better than living wage.
Right.
And I mean, you guys have screwed the pooch on every opportunity. Oh, we don't like unions because they take union dues, which protect our rights and our welfare and our health care and everything else. Unions are evil. They want us to have a better life, and they want to protect us, and that's not right. We want to be fucking ass constantly.
And the union thing is silly, simply because of the fact that many people who oppose unions are like, well, the unions did their jobs, so therefore we don't need them anymore because the job's done. Kind of like the stupid Roberts argument when he said that we don't need the Voting Rights Act anymore because we haven't seen as many examples of voting rights violations. Well, the reasons you haven't seen the voting rights violations is because you had the Voting Rights Act. It's the same. It's so like with the people who are like, we don't need unions anymore simply because they've enacted these policies. Well, you get rid of the unions, and the people are going to enact the policies again. Like some people say, well, New Orleans hasn't flooded from the Mississippi River, so therefore we no longer need the levee protection system. And that's how stupid that argument is on the people who don't say we don't need unions. Furthermore, the people who would say like, oh, I don't like that I have to pay union dues. Well, the Constitution allows you to have freedom of association or whatever, and you should be able to have a contract that says we're going to be a union shop, and if you want to be, we're going to negotiate with you. We're going to be a union shop, and everybody who works for you has to pay union dues. And if you don't like it, don't go work for the union shop. But the conservatives will then pass laws that say, hey, we're going to allow you. We're going to say, okay. People don't have to pay those union dues anymore, but then they'll still require the unions to cover them in labor disputes. And it's like basically forcing them to have unpaid labor, basically forcing the unions to be their slaves almost, because the unions are being forced to cover them with labor protection discussions when they didn't pay for it. If you told the Chamber of Commerce that they would have to protect businesses that weren't dues-paying members of the Chamber of Commerce, they would laugh in your fucking face. But they don't do it. Why? Because, the conservatives are never going to fight to say, oh, you have to fight for all businesses. But the same thing should be with unions. The unions do, on the grand scale, fight for people and make sure that they benefit above and beyond the dues payers. But when it comes to union protections, like, legal protections and stuff like that, you absolutely shouldn't get any fucking union protection if you're not paying union dues, and a union should be able to absolutely sign a contract with a business that says you're a union shop, you can only hire union labor. Simple as that. But, the Constitution is just a piece of giant toilet paper for the Republicans. They only use it when it's useful, and they have shit on their ass. Anyway.
Well, the right to work legislation is basically a right to screw you in the ass. I mean, that's all it is. It's basically let me take away all your rights and make you work for little or nothing with no job security, nothing to protect you whatsoever, I mean, so, that's the thing. You guys have, like, the civics education as well as the education of how to make a better society has completely failed, and the problem is that, the Democrats are better than the Republicans by far. But the problem is that all they ever seem to offer are breadcrumbs, and I mean, that's just it. You need to take major steps and fix what's broken in the country, because you're at $39 trillion in debt. And it's projected right now that at the rate that Trump is going, you're going to go another $11 trillion in debt. The U.S. dollar is no longer going to be the fiat currency, and people are never going to trust you again, because they know that every 2 years, change of Congress in the Senate can completely bankrupt the country, as well as, every 4 years a different president can tear up every single deal that's been made worldwide. So you're not seen as a reliable partner. You're not seen as anything. It's like, I don't know where you go with this anymore. Your reputation is in tatters. You go, you're known as a colonizer or, an imperialist, where you basically go and you conquer a country and then steal all their resources because, oh, well, we can't do anything, democratic and actually have negotiations and bargain for a fair reciprocal deal for both countries. Oh, no, let's go in and decide that we don't like the government and we'll, just take what we want and what. I mean, that's the way Russia's been operating all this time, I mean,
it's frustrating.
I'm really wondering, is there any hope left for the U.S. at this point? I really worry about that thing. And I mean, maybe people may think that I'm overblowing the situation, but you know what? Financially, you're already in a black hole, and you just keep digging deeper and deeper, and I don't know how the hell you're going to crawl out of it. This fiscally conservative crap doesn't work.
I think this year's election may very well answer that question. If we can't, with all of this shit going on, if we can't manage to take back the House and at least the House, if not the House and Senate, then I would absolutely say we're fucked. Otherwise, maybe there's a chance if we can, at least stop the bleeding for 2 years until we get somebody in, you know, the Oval Office who's worth a damn. So.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, you got so many things on your plate. Number one, you have to save the economy. So is that going to take precedent over having accountability for all the criminals and all the things that the criminals have done? Or is, you know, and that's the thing. You guys can't do that many things all at once. And that's the problem. You guys go and you tackle one problem and then you let another 3 problems slide, you know, and nobody, and you know, you guys are supposedly some of the smartest people on the planet. Oh, and you live in the richest country in the world. And it's like, and you have what to show for it? Because I don't fucking see it.
At the moment, it's very hard to see because, you know, we have these morons and fools in charge. So, end up sending us into, you know, putting us into stupid wars, bombing people needlessly, and, you know, all to cover up a bunch of pedos.
You know, I don't know.
Wait, 250 kilograms says, why don't Canadians come and run the USA? Pfft, I wish. We could become the how many provinces you have up there in Canada? We could be the whatever.
Well,
province.
yeah, I know. I mean, that's the thing, you know.
That's the joke. Has anybody made that T-shirt yet? Where, I mean, you should be have like is it? How many provinces in Canada? 10 provinces and 3 territories. So could we pick a T-shirt that says United States, the 11th province?
I don't know. We would probably take the west. We would take the West Coast and probably leave the rest. I mean, outside of that, I mean, you guys have been sucking off the Canadian pit for so bloody long. We provide a lot of your electricity. We provide a lot of your oil. We provide everything. And what do we get for it? Oh, you're our longest trading partner. It's not like, yeah, no, it's more than that. And you guys, you know, and we've been waiting 50 fucking years for you guys to get your act together and fix what's broken in your country. And it's like I said, every 2 years, oh, there could be a change in Congress and Senate. And any gains that are made will be ripped up in paper and completely screwed. You know what I mean? That's just it. And like I said, you got 90 million people that don't want to participate in elections. And there's a reason for that.
Yep.
They don't see anything getting any better. And they've just decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to look after myself and I'm going to do whatever. And if I have to lie, cheat, and steal to get what's necessary to survive, then that's what I'll do. And, you know, and you wonder why you have one of the highest crime rates and the more people in prison than anything else alongside of your racism and everything else, you know? That's why you're there.
I do
anyway,
a brief shout out to Stephen Sayers for being a wild Danimal for 15 months. Not just a liberal Danimal, but the wild Danimal level for 15 months. Thank you so much, Stephen, for that. It did sound like you were about to end your call, though, but let's...
no, I'll just leave it at that. I get enraged, and I think about these things, and, you know, like I said, you guys are, like, literally waiting for the asteroid to hit and go... to wipe out the dinosaurs, which in this case are the conservatives, you know, and I mean, as opposed to the Scandinavian countries, which are living the Star Trek ideal life, where they figured out how to make things work. I mean, I think I sent you a thing through the messenger there about how, you know, the Scandinavians have figured out, oh yeah, we offer, you know, unemployment, we offer education for free, we offer healthcare for free, we offer housing for the homeless. In fact, we also add within that housing social workers who can help people with alcohol and drug addiction as well as other things and whatnot. And I mean, they just, you know, you guys keep looking for solutions and then you just discount anything that works anywhere else across the world and you say, oh, but it's too expensive. You know what's even more expensive? Not fucking fixing the problem.
Right. Would have been cheaper was, you know, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure if we would have put ourselves in a situation to begin with. But, I mean, you can't unring that bell. So we need to make sure that, you know, we can prevent anything more. But again, that goes with, again, those 90 million people need to get out and vote, and they need to get out and vote the right way and not for these traitorous asshats that are in there. And they said something about us getting effed in the ass or whatever. Maybe that's why that previous caller was prolapsed, right?
Yeah, tell me about it. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. As usual, pleasure to call in and speak my mind, but I wear a baseball cap for good reason, I guess, because otherwise I'd tear all my hair out. Otherwise, there's enough of you smart people out there, but you're not educating these people, and you have corrupted your whole system. MSM can't be counted on to tell the truth. The radio stations are corrupt now with right-wing radio and crap. There's no, you're just getting a constant supply of poison and racial hatred and everything else, and blaming everybody else for your lot in life when in fact it's actually your fault, because you guys don't step up and demand better and hold the politicians responsible. And that's just it, oh, well, you can always get them out in 2 years. Yeah, but they do so much fucking damage in 2 years. That's the problem.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Anyway,
right,
enjoy the rest of your night, Dan.
You as well.
Yeah.
Have a great one. Bye.
Okay. Goodbye.
All right, everybody, that was Big Hook. We will keep the phone lines open for a little bit longer if anybody else wants to call in. 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261. Remember to not be an absolute dick when you call in. We will absolutely hang up on you real quick if you do. And then you'll get blocked. So if you would like to actually have a debate, you can. Triva, I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. Anyway, thank you for being a liberal danimal for 6 months. Appreciate you for that. Here's how crazy AI is. While he was on the phone, I typed into ChatGPT, make me an image for a t-shirt for America being the 11th province. And is that a good idea for a t-shirt, or is that just too much for a t-shirt? I had to do it. I had to do it. So, yeah. I almost sang the next part, Karen. I almost sang the, I'd like to buy the world. Anyway. Let's see. All right, well, I don't think we're going to have to worry about hearing about anything prolapse with this one either, because we got Christine on the line. How's it going, Christine? Good to hear from you.
Pretty good. How you doing?
Very good. Thank you so much.
I just want to say the moron in chief, first he starts a trade war with the whole world. Then he starts an illegal war in Iran and wonders why the world won't come assist him.
Yep.
I mean, what a douche.
And then he's like, well, we don't need anybody's else's help. We don't need their help. We're the most powerful military, but we're still going to ask for it anyway. Why? Why are you going to ask for it if you need it? Like, and again, like the fact that he, last time in 2016 in that term, in the 2017 to 2021 term, he tried to wreck NATO then. Now he's threatening NATO again by, saying, oh, NATO's not afraid or Putin's not afraid of NATO. He's afraid of the U.S., so we don't need NATO. Like, you don't treat your ally, you don't become, you take your allies for granted. Easy for me to say. You take your allies for granted when you don't value them when you don't need them. Where 9/11 happened and they invoked that article to basically come help us out because that was when we were actually attacked and needed assistance from our allies. You don't.
The only time Article 5's ever been invoked.
Yep, exactly. And thank you, Mr. Spock, for being a liberal danimal for 5 months. Thank you so much. But go ahead.
But America's first is all right. We're number one on a field of one. Good job.
Yeah. America worst. is Donald Trump's idea. America worst. Although, I mean, you know, maybe it'd be a sausage thing. That would be Donald. There you go. I've been looking for, because for a long time I used to have this Liberal Dan. I don't know. Have you ever heard the Liberal Dan Chopper City audio? So back during COVID, when they held Sturgis, I had and you know, everyone was it was like a super spreader event or whatever, and I basically created this fictional establishment called Liberal Dan Chopper City, and I was like, you know, we doggy, we have deals for you, and then if you bought a chopper, you know, Harley Davidson from one of our during our, you know, special sale time, you'll get like a 12-pack of 2-ply and a 6-pack of antibacterial gel, just, you know, for taking part in it. And I have several examples of you know, Liberal Dance Chopper City and all the specials. So I'm gonna have to do the America worst. They're gonna give away sausage. That's what's gonna have to happen. We're gonna have to make the Liberal Dan Chopper City new special with America worst. So thank you for being my muse, Christine.
Well, don't make it out of beef. Too expensive.
Exactly.
Well, y'all have a good night.
All right. Thank you as well. Have a great one. Appreciate you.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Again, 562-LibDan1, 562-LibDan1, 562-542-3261. I know there was an 857 number and potentially a 405 number that tried to call in. You can try and call back again if you wish. They'll give the phone lines at least a few more minutes. We'll probably end the show around 10 o'clock-ish. So we'll see. But let's see. Sweden sounds good, but the Act of Succession deals with the line of monarchy and declares that only individuals from the House of Bernadotte can hold the crown. Interesting. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly or incorrectly either. Let's see. What else did Trusted Every Game say? Like, normally it's hide your kids, hide your wife, especially with Jeffrey Epstein's wingman, the groper-in-chief in the White House. Then it's hide your dog because of the puppy killer who was recently running the American Gestapo. Now I guess it's hide the penguins. Yeah, pretty much. Hide the penguins. We'll have to see if that image that I created works for a t-shirt, because we may have to throw that up on the Liberal Dan Radio store as well. So Steven says, thank you for the acknowledgement. Although it's not needed with me, I love your show. Thank you so much. But, you know, I appreciate you as well. And I like to give as many shouts out as possible for the people who do support the show. So Church is in every game. Imagine had Biden tariff the Penguins.
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
Let's see. Orb River says, I cooked this cube steak into a hockey puck. Might have been a tad bit well done. Which always was weird to me that you called a steak that was overcooked and you refer to that as being well done. It's not well done at all. It's horribly done. A properly done steak would be a steak that's, you know, medium rare, as long as it's a decent cut of meat. That being said, blah, blah, blah. Whatchamacallit. Oh, we should, you know, maybe you should use some A1 steak sauce on it. It's, you know, since going back to the old callback of the A1 thing from earlier on in the show, right? Anywho, I'm also team medium rare, and sometimes a little rarer. Like if you have a good ribeye steak, that's a good quality cut ribeye steak, like a prime cut. I would absolutely want it more Pittsburgh style, like, you know, nice char on the outside, nice caramelization on the fat, you know, a little rarer on the inside. That's fine with me as well. But, you know, I know some of my family likes a cow with a fever. So, anywho. So, let's see. We're getting pork cube steaks, having TV. We had taco. I made Taco Monday tonight. It was Taco Monday here at the Liberal Dan household because I had an extra package of ground beef and I also had a pack of taco shells. So we're going to do. We actually have Taco Tuesday as well because we may do soft shell corn tortilla type tacos with some Aranchera beef that I got. I just didn't have enough time to prepare a full-on dinner with, you know, between getting and stopping work, making sure my wife got her new gift, that I got her a very, very early anniversary gift. I actually got her 2 of them, but I wanted to give the first one today because I knew it was going to make her super happy. She had asked somebody, one of her friends who was in Disney World, to check to see if they had Figment Crocs, and she never looked, never really got them, whatever, so she was frustrated at that, and I saw that they were available online, and I managed to get her some, and then I was very happy. So, Cosmic Rose, okay, going to put some A1 on my lentil site. You know what the weird thing about A1 is, before we end the show, and I'm going to go ahead and shut the phones off now because it's 9:50, I don't think we're getting anything else. But the weird thing about A1 is, I actually read the label one time, and I saw that one of the ingredients in A1 is raisins, and I was like, I looked at the label, it was so weird, I probably looked like this when I looked at the label. I was that surprised and shocked about the fact that there was raisins in the sauce. So, anyway. So, let's see. Anywho. Touches, yeah, I guess that's probably why. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it might add to the color, it might add to the flavor, it might give some sweetness to the sauce. You know, as old Donnie Boy says,
it is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. But what we are going to do is we're going to end this evening's episode of Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. Make sure to, you know, watch for new videos that get uploaded, all that good stuff. We will be live here again Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central here on liberaldanradio.com or twitch.liberaldanradio.com. Until that time, we will talk then and have a great one. Be, you know, do good things for other people, not because you expect anything from it, but because it's the right thing to do. Until then, peace.
He said nobody who healthcare could be so complicated. The Obamacare debate was 6 months litigated. Years of med school debt got capitalized. Insurance claim forms so high they nearly capsized. But he wouldn't know the frustration of trying to get prior authorization. Everybody knew, the whole world knew, the doctors, the lawyers, the CBO crew. Oh, 30,000 pages of ready review. It wasn't a big secret, we knew. Don't realize Obama deported, but the porter-in-chief is what La Raza retorted. Obama went after the violent folks and felons, drunk nabbed the dishwashers and people picking melons. But Donald's argument shows that he's not very bright. If Obama made some wrongs, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Fact-check crew, acting all surprised that the sky is blue. It wasn't no secret, we knew. He asked who knew a virus could be so contagious. Virologist blinked at someone so outrageous. He was surprised at how many countries existed. No wonder when the virus spread, either one who missed it spread a map, slit red in every deadly hue. World Health Memo said we already knew. Everybody knew. Oh, the whole world knew. Oh, the lab coats, the leaders, and we were with the flu. Oh, the nations of the world, more than 192. It wasn't a big secret, we knew. You unveiled our oxygen like contraband air. Like 60. You sat down, claiming to discover chairs. War called money was his big surprise. Iraq has oil, can you believe your eyes? He said, we are divided, a surprise to no one thinking. And he was most surprised a Republican was Lincoln. Everybody knew, the whole world knew. The Christians, the Muslims, atheists, and the Jews. Like being shot, they have animals at the zoo. It wasn't a big secret. We knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Obama and Bush's pictures got hidden, obscuring the past, history rewritten, hung in a hallway where no tour can see, confirming his unending fragility. If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list, object permanent, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, he must not exist. The testing was the line that he said. Hundreds of thousands needlessly dead. Now HHS is run by brainworm quack, hiding the truth behind his back. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list, an administration run by narcissists. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Of documents stacked floor to the wall, top secret folders in a bathroom stall. Charges were pressed but the case was dropped. A corrupt judicial system he can co-opt. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. He'll swear it's fake news, a liberal twist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Encampments downtown, tents lining the street. Invisible people that power won't meet. Hide them away so the cameras can't find it. Proof of a system that's cold and unkind. A payout in secret, an NDA sign, an illegal bribe. Michael Cohen fine. Trump got fined too over his gag order, but she didn't gag, cause he was much shorter. Did you catch it? It must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. We can't let him win, we must resist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist.
They wrote it in the laws, ink still bleeds. Treating women like soil, just planting seeds. She's gone, brain dead, not even awake. But the state's got a claim, gonna plant its stake. Say it's God's will, say it's life they protect. But they ain't the ones feeling pain or neglect. From Texas to Georgia, they set the trap. Rights roll back while they smile and clap. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. This ain't pro-life, it's control and shame. They don't care if she's gone, just playing a game. Keep her hooked to machines, cold and still, just a vessel to them, not a human with will. No consent, no voice, no chance to resist. Just laws in place, written with a clenched fist. Hospitals scared, judges playing God. Bodies ain't temples, just stay on pods. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey, mega fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Bands in the dark, they don't care who it kills. Sacking courts while they strip out all of your wills. But we'll fight back, march loud, burn bright. Cause this ain't the end, it's the start of the fight. Gilead's here, ain't no grace. And those leopards are coming to eat your face. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator.
The creative director at WGSO had a little something he thought you should know. When Dan picked on his bits, Steve got real gruff. So Steve called Dan a flake, called him liberal dandruff. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest. Steve's about to find out his mistake. In this feud, Dan's Kendrick, Steve is Drake. Dan might not be the world's best singer, but he's got more talent in his little finger. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest. When someone makes a move of which we don't approve, who is it that always intervenes? UN and OASA have their place, I guess, but first send the Marines. We'll send them all we've got, John Wayne and Randolph Scott. Remember those exciting fighting scenes to the shores of Tripoli, but not to Mississippi. What do? We send the Marines. For might makes right until they've seen the light. They've got to be protected, all their rights respected, till somebody we like can be elected. Members of the Corps all hate the thought of war. They'd rather kill them off by peaceful means. Stop calling it aggression. Ooh, we hate that expression. We only want the world to know that we support the status quo. They love us everywhere we go. So when in doubt, send Marines.
Trump piled debt, trillions told. treason if Joe's the name? Is patriotism when down?